All right, I'm here with actor J. Armstrong Johnson. It's been 4 years since our last interview, and you've just been doing nothing for 4 years. Come on, man.
Sitting on my ass.
So, after we spoke, you did Hands on a Hard Body.
Yeah.
It was a short run, but it was,
So much fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Because it was set in Texas, and I'm from Texas. It was set like 2 hours away from where I actually grew up. So all these characters, I feel like I knew all these characters already, and so it's fun to go to work every day and just like pretend like I'm back at home and put on the southern drawl.
Do you think that helped you land the role, being that you're from Texas? Did you feel like you had
I was actually a replacement for someone who got a TV film gig for one of the workshops, and so I was just kind of like a placeholder, I guess, when I initially started with the show. And then I guess I won the hearts of the people that wrote it because they asked me back for each workshop after that, and then for La Jolla, and then for Broadway.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then after that, next year you were in On the Town.
On the Town.
Good memories, right?
Yeah. It was my first like lead on Broadway. Like, I'd always been like an understudy or like a very supporting character. This was my like lead, my first lead. So it was one of the hardest years of my life, but so fulfilling.
Yeah. What were some of the things you were nervous about as being a lead?
Just like maintenance, just like upkeep. It was a ridiculously hard dance show, physical comedy. Like it was a 2.5 hour like workout essentially for pretty much the whole cast. So I had to wear like volleyball knee pads to make sure I didn't bust out my knees, and like we had physical therapy once a week, massage therapy once a week. I went to acupuncture once every 2 weeks or so. Like it was pretty rigorous, at least physically.
Yeah. I think people have a misperception of, they only go in and do a show at night and then they don't do anything all day, and it like doesn't take any toll on their body. So it's interesting to hear stories about the toll it actually takes.
Because it's like it's crazy. Like I had a movement that was like holding the subway handle, and my hand is just up here. But doing this 8 times a week, like there's strain that goes down my back and there's in my shoulders. So I start feeling like weird things in my shoulders for just like that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's weird that even like the smallest move done repetitiously will like create like weird issues after a while.
Yeah. Certainly not for the week of. Then you did a web series called Seeking.
Oh yeah. That was
next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I had a friend of a friend recommend me to this brilliant girl, and she just asked me to put myself on tape for it one night. And I was just like home. I had just gotten done doing a On the Town like performance. I was like, I can't believe I have to put myself on tape. But I guess I was so tired that I just like came off good.
Yeah, you did something right.
I did something
Maybe
right.
that's how all your auditions should go, right after being on stage.
Exactly.
It's so great nowadays that actors can do web series and put their own products out there, and the work is so much more readily available.
Yeah, it's very cool
to do your own thing and put your own vision out.
Yeah, and the production like value is pretty darn great. I mean, the kind of equipment that they had. I mean, I was learning about like the TV film world via this project, so it was like baby steps for me.
Any interest in doing it yourself, like putting your own series, or?
Yeah, I guess so. I just would want to assemble like a crew around me that I know and love and respect their abilities to know about screen things, you know, like that kind of stuff.
And then this past year you did this little tiny show, Quantico. I don't know if anyone's heard of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Canceled after one episode. It was so terrible. What was that experience like, coming into the show after it had been somewhat established, but I guess filming it hadn't been established yet when you came in, right? Like the popularity had not been quite as...
No, I had seen the posters all over New York City about it. I was like, what is this Quantico shit?
Right.
And then in the like early fall, I got an audition for a character, and I made it down to the end, but then they didn't end up going with me because they went older with it. And then in the in the late fall, they were auditioning for another character, and that was the character of Will. And so since they liked my tape for the other character, they brought me back in, and I had one audition. That's it. Like it was. I just got the role. I thought I'd have like a callback process and like a screening test and all those things that you like hear about in TV shows. But I guess when a show is already in production, they're just like, we need to find that.
We need it fast.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. So I learned a lot just about the business in general of like TV film and how different it is from like the theater world, which was kind of crazy and fun and hard and challenging and all the things.
How far in advance did you know what was not necessarily going to like the end result, but did you know what your character's journey would be when you first started, or was it kind of like fly by the seat of your pants every week? You were just finding out.
I mean, the writers write it as the season goes, so they kind of have a premise, they kind of have an idea of like the trajectory of the main characters, but like my character is there to like screw some shit up and like make it harder to get to like point A to point Z.
Right.
So we never know. Like we wait for the scripts, and when the scripts come in, like that's when we find our like destiny or like our death or like our sex scene or
Yeah. Luckily you didn't have to worry about a death scene.
No, sure didn't.
You had a couple bumps along the way. Yeah, you had quite a few scares actually.
Yeah.
Was that nerve-wracking for you? Like, oh, is this the episode I'm going to bite it, or did you?
It was nerve-wracking for the whole company. It almost felt like there was like this looming terrorist that just could like off anyone, because that's kind of the
kind of what was happening. Yeah.
So it had this pressure on everyone, this like weird like thing. Everyone was kind of always walking on eggshells, I felt. Maybe that was just me, but I kind of felt that.
Yeah. Did you have it, or at least feel, I don't know obviously what it's like to work on the show, I don't work on the show, but for the other actors I would assume it was kind of hard going back and forth between the present and the past. Is that the way they filmed it, or did they film everything together and kind of like...
I guess there are certain days that are for the past. I mean, like all the Quantico things, like it's all in the classroom or all like, so I believe that each day is a little different, and there's always a significant hair and makeup change for whoever is filming both. Like when Reina and Nima Amin, I mean, it's crazy the kind of time that it takes just to go from like one twin to another twin and then have to film both twins, and then in the past and the present. It's just like...
And then them playing each other and like pretending they were the other. It's like... It's very. It's confusing. Yeah, I don't know how she did it. I had the pleasure of interviewing her.
I don't even know.
Oh yeah, I did. I interviewed Yasmin last week. So she's amazing. She's so great.
She's incredible.
Now, so you have the possibility of coming back to show move production here in New York. So there's.
We'll see, man. I hope so. I really do. I mean, I feel like it could happen since I live here, but I really don't know how all that works.
It's not like you're resting on your laurels though and just sitting around. You had some shows at Studio 54, which you're putting together into a live album.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It's very exciting. It was a bit of a labor of love. Like over the last 3 years or so, I've been keeping like a really fierce part of my notes section of my phone. Just always, if I like think of a song I want to cover, like an idea, I'll just like jot it down in my notes section of my phone, and those notes accumulated over the course of 3 years, and then this show like kind of was there because of it, and it was very fun.
Now that you're editing it together, do you find yourself overly critical now that you're hearing it back? Or
I'm a Virgo. I'm just like perfectionistic, crazy, just like always wanting to fix things. And my producer keeps being like, "It's a live album, Jeff." Like, you're right.
Wait, you mean we can't go back? Studio 54,
we can't go back
do it again?
Come on, can you just pitch fix me? But
what's been the most rewarding part of putting this album together?
Working with my friends. I got to fly up my best friend Amanda to be one of my backup singers, one of my guest artists, and her husband Trey, who's been a buddy of mine for years. He was my drummer. A girl that I went to high school with, she was my Kathy Selden when I was Don Lockwood and Singing in the Rain my senior year. She was one of my backup singers as well. So, and my buddy Billy Lewis, who's my boyfriend's best friend, but he's a sick singer and a fantastic like musical artist in general. So I had a group of people I loved around me that were creating with me. That was the like cherry on top.
It's so great to hear a young performer who's found success going back and working with the people that they feel the most comfortable with and know they're going to put out. Like, it's very cool.
When it's just like a solo show, I mean, it's about me, so I want to feel like there are parts of me on stage, and like when I'm messing up or when I'm like off the key, I just look over at them and they're there with me the whole time.
Yeah,
it's very special.
And now when's that going to be released?
In September, I believe, sometime mid-September. I guess we wanted to release it like on my birthday, which was like, but he was like, "Dude, that's the Labor Day weekend. Like, we're not releasing it on that." I was like, okay.
Yeah, the end of summer is probably not the weekend. No one will be paying attention.
No one gives a so we'll wait a couple of weeks, I think.
What are you looking to do now? You've tackled Broadway. You've tackled television.
Yeah.
Is there a certain role you really dying to play?
I don't really even know. I'm kind of just keeping my options open, and I'd really like to go back to Broadway in a kind of a new show. Like I've been doing a lot of revivals, and I love revivals, and that's what I grew up doing. Is like classical musical theater. But I'd like to either do a play maybe, or a newer musical. Sink my teeth into like some more meaty vocal stuff, acty stuff, or you know. I guess what I'm saying is I don't want to dance anymore. That's not true. I want to.
That's going to come back to bite you.
Exactly.
No. Do you have a specific genre in terms of, do you like plays more? Do you like musicals more? I know you've done a lot of musicals, so.
I grew up doing musicals, so that's where my like blood feels most comfortable. Anytime I've done a play, it has been always rewarding and always challenging and always a different beast. And I always end up loving it so much, and I always say, oh, I gotta do more plays, I gotta do more plays. So I don't know, maybe Quantico can help open that door, since like it seems to be only like TV movie people that usually get cast in plays on Broadway.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that, I don't know, we'll see. I hope.
Cool.
I would love to do a play.
Yeah.
Even to go back off Broadway and do a play, just like get my hands dirty again.
Yeah, it's nice to change it up and do something different.
Totally.
That's why you became an actor, right?
That's right.
You nailed TV, you nailed Broadway, you're nailing an album.
Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you so much for taking the time
No,
to
this was a blast.
meet back up. It was really great catching up.
Cool, you too.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, you too.